Welcome back to the deep dive. We're taking that huge stack of sources and boiling it down to the strategic essentials for you. And today, we're heading into a space that, well, it either brings intense joy or, let's be honest, sometimes total dread. The spreadsheet.
Ah, yes, the spreadsheet. Love it or hate it, it's kind of the engine room for so much business activity, but often, yeah, managed with tools that feel a bit dated. That's definitely changing now, though.
It really is. We've gathered a bunch of sources looking at how Google's Gemini AI is being integrated, like deeply integrated into Google Sheets.
Yeah.
And let's just say if you're still fighting with pivot tables or trying to untangle endless VLOOKUPs, well, your relationship with spreadsheets might be about to change.
Yeah, and that's why this deep dive feels so relevant right now.
Yeah.
Because this isn't just a small tweak, is it? It's more like a paradigm shift.
Mm.
It fundamentally alters how organizations, how people process data, analyze it, visualize it. It's moving past simple automation.
Right.
It's becoming a strategic tool. It's actually democratizing some pretty advanced data analysis, making it accessible to, well, almost anyone.
That's the core idea we really want to dig into today. So our mission here is to unpack the actual tech capabilities, what can it do, then look at the real-world uses, and finally, the impact. The potentially quantifiable impact on efficiency and insight.
Basically, how does this tech potentially turn someone who maybe only knows SUM and average into, well, maybe not an expert overnight, but certainly someone much more capable with data very quickly?
Exactly. By the end of the week, maybe. Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. Why AI and spreadsheets? Why is this convergence happening now? What's the theory behind it? Is this just a fad?
Yeah, it really comes down to the maturity of natural language processing, NLP, and machine learning. Those are the engines driving this.
NLP, can you give us a quick, practical take on that? It sounds a bit academic.
Sure. Think of it like this. Old spreadsheets, you had to write a very precise recipe, the formula, right? Get one comma wrong and the whole thing breaks.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah. Well, NLP is like you just telling the chef what you want for dinner.
Yeah.
You describe the result in plain English. I want pasta with pesto and chicken. And the AI, the chef, figures out all the complex steps, gets the ingredients, cooks it. You didn't write the recipe.
Okay, that makes sense. So the user isn't coding, they're communicating their intent.
Precisely. That's the key benefit. People without specialized coding or formula knowledge can now run really complex data operations just by describing what they need in natural language.
Which brings us to the big promises for organizations. The sources we looked at kept mentioning some huge goals, especially around efficiency gains. What's the headline number there?
The big one, the one that kept popping up, is aiming to reduce the time spent on repetitive analysis and reporting tasks by 70%.
70%. Okay, wow, that's a massive claim. But hang on, where does that number come from? Is that realistic? Are we talking just simple stuff, or?
It's mostly focused on those tasks that are really known time sinks. Cleaning up messy data, generating those standard weekly or monthly reports, finding obvious trends, building the same charts over and over.
Right, the drudgery.
Exactly. So even for a small team, if someone spends, say, 5 hours a week just wrestling data into shape for one report, this could potentially cut that down to maybe an hour and a half. It feels realistic because the AI takes over the mechanical part, leaving the human to focus on the so what, the strategy.
Okay, so that aligns with the qualitative goals too then. Getting deeper insights, not just basic metrics, and making these processes more scalable across the whole company.
Yes. The ultimate goal is boosting both productivity and the quality of analysis using automation, freeing up people for higher level thinking.
All right, let's get into the fun stuff. The promise is huge, but how does Gemini actually work inside a Google Sheet? What are the specific features that make this possible?
Well, the scope is pretty broad. Google's clearly positioning Sheets as this central hub. It can summarize files from your Google Drive, pull info from relevant Gmail messages.
Wait, from emails too?
Yeah, generate tables just from a description, help you find insights, build charts, and maybe the most revolutionary part, generate formulas for you.
Okay, let's definitely focus on that formula generation, because that's the bit that always felt like a barrier, right? I remember spending literal hours debugging some horrible nested IF statement. Felt like my brain was melting.
That pain should hopefully become a thing of the past. The game changer is the AI function. You literally type AI into a cell.
Just like Timisum or VLOOKUP.
Exactly. But then, instead of complex syntax, you just write your instructions in plain English.
Yeah.
Gemini figures out the formula needed and executes it.
So I don't need to remember index match versus VLOOKUP. I can just say, find the sales price for product ID XYZ from the product sheet and multiply it by the quantity sold in this row.
That's the idea. Or maybe, what's the average customer satisfaction score for reviews mentioning support? The AI handles the complex formula writing behind the scenes. It shifts the bottleneck from technical syntax knowledge to simply knowing what question you need answered.
That really does make it accessible. But it's not just about calculations, is it? The sources talked a lot about advanced analysis features.
Yeah, and these are huge time savers. Gemini can automatically spot key metrics, total revenue, top products, growth trends, that sort of thing. But crucially, and this is really powerful for strategy, it can detect unusual data points, anomalies.
Anomalies. So, like, if one region's sales suddenly shoot up 300% when everything else is flat, it won't just get lost in the average, it'll flag it.
Precisely. And that's where the gold often is, isn't it? It could be an error, sure, or potential fraud. Or maybe it's a genuine market opportunity you need to jump on fast. A human scrolling through thousands of rows might miss it. The AI brings it right to your attention.
Okay, and then once you have these insights, you don't need to spend another hour trying to build the right chart in the charting tool.
Nope. Visualization gets way simpler. Gemini can take that data, or the insight it found, and quickly generate different types of charts, scatter plots, bar charts, whatever fits the data, without you needing to manually configure everything.
And the accessibility part you mentioned earlier, it's not just for data scientists.
That's key. The sources emphasize that all enterprise users in Google Workspace get access to some level of these insight capabilities, like spotting basic correlations or outliers. It's democratized.
Okay.
But then, for qualified subscribers, it goes further. They can pull in data from outside the spreadsheet easily. Think other Sheets files, Google Docs, CSVs, even PDFs. And get this, they specifically mentioned integrating Excel and Word files too from Drive or your local computer.
Wow, okay. Bringing in Excel and Word files directly, that tackles a huge headache for many organizations working across different platforms.
It really does. It helps create that unified analytical space, breaking down data silos.
So the tech is clearly powerful, it's fast, it sounds pretty accessible. What does this mean strategically? Where are companies actually using this to get ahead?
Well, its versatility means it pops up everywhere. In business performance, for instance, companies are quickly setting up automated dashboards. These pull in real-time KPIs, meaning executives can see what's happening and react in hours, not days or weeks.
That speed is the advantage, shortening that decision loop.
Exactly. Then think about academic research. Researchers dealing with massive data sets can automate a lot of the initial grunt work, cleaning data, running descriptive stats, generating basic charts for papers. Less time on data wrangling, more time on interpretation and theory.
Makes sense.
And even in areas like human resources, we saw examples of using it for predictive analysis on productivity or automating parts of performance reporting. It allows HR to be more proactive with talent management, not just reactive.
And it wasn't just hard numbers, right? We also saw examples of, like, qualitative uses.
Yeah, that flexibility is interesting. You could ask it to, say, summarize themes from hundreds of customer reviews, or even generate potential based on what's trending in your data. It adapts.
So connecting that back, the real impact seems to be this leap in capability for the average user, turning them into effectively advanced spreadsheet specialists almost instantly.
That's the promise. Giving them speed and analytical precision that used to require specialized skills. And that agility, that ability to analyze faster and deeper, offers a real competitive edge against slower-moving competitors.
Okay, it sounds incredibly compelling, almost too good to be true in some ways. But whenever tech this powerful arrives this quickly, there have got to be challenges, right? As organizations rush to chase that 70% efficiency gain, what are the big hurdles they need to watch out for?
That's a really important point, and the sources were quite clear on the obstacles. They flagged 4 main technical and sort of methodological challenges. First, and maybe the most critical, data quality.
The classic. Garbage in, garbage out. Still applies.
Absolutely, maybe even more so. If your underlying data is messy, inconsistent, or just plain wrong, the AI will happily perform incredibly sophisticated analysis on that garbage. It'll give you a very precise, very fast, but ultimately useless or misleading answer. Ensuring data integrity before you let the AI loose is crucial.
Okay, data quality first. What were the other 3 big ones?
Second was scalability. How do you roll this out effectively across the whole organization, whether you're a 50-person startup or a 50,000-employee giant? The framework needs to work for everyone.
Right.
Third, digital competencies. People need training, not just on how to use the tool, but on how to think with it, how to ask good questions. Prompt engineering, basically. It's a new skill set.
So it's not just about learning buttons, it's learning how to formulate the request effectively.
Precisely. And the fourth hurdle was system integration. How do you make this new AI tool play nice with all the existing tech systems a company already relies on, some of which might be quite old?
Those are definitely significant technical hurdles. But what about the human side? The ethical considerations. Integrating AI this deeply must raise some flags.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Robust ethical frameworks are essential. Obvious concerns around data privacy immediately come up, especially if it's accessing Drive documents or emails. You need clear governance there.
Makes sense. What else?
A big one mentioned was algorithmic transparency.
Transparency, meaning understanding how the AI got its answer. Why is that so critical for, say, the average manager?
Well, imagine the AI flags a huge anomaly suggesting fraud, or its analysis directly leads to a major strategic investment. When the stakes are high, you need to be able to trust the result. Transparency allows you to see, or at least understand, the logic the AI used. Was it biased? Did it rely on flawed data you missed? You need that audit trail, that confidence in the why behind the AI's conclusion, not just the what. And also, technological dependence.
Right, becoming too reliant on it.
Exactly. There's a balance to be struck.
Okay, this has been incredibly insightful. So just to quickly recap the core takeaway, Gemini in Google Sheets looks set to fundamentally change how we work with data. It's promising massive time savings, potentially up to 70% on repetitive tasks, by letting anyone perform complex analysis using simple natural language. This offers a real competitive edge if implemented thoughtfully.
And looking ahead, this is likely just the start. The sources hinted at future research focusing on personalized AI algorithms that don't just follow instructions, but actually learn and adapt to your specific way of working, your preferences, your common tasks, moving beyond a one-size-fits-all approach.
That's a fascinating and maybe slightly unsettling final thought to leave folks with. We've seen how AI can massively boost productivity by handling complex tasks, making data analysis accessible. But if these tools evolve to adapt dynamically to your personal work style, learning your habits, anticipating your needs, where exactly is that line between a powerful, personalized assistant that frees you up for strategic thinking and, well, total technological dependence where the tool is almost thinking for you? That's definitely something to mull over as you rethink your own workflows.